Hey, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Q, and we have just 3 more weeks of VCT in the EMEA region. And week 6 kicks off in just a couple of hours here with Fnatic looking to keep their undefeated season alive, while we have teams like Giants, FUT Esports, Team Vitality, and other teams that are behind those top 3 there, all looking to secure, well, some sort of momentum heading into the back end of the season. Meanwhile, this week we will also see Team NAVI and Team Liquid duke it out in what should be a much anticipated banger of a series to see who will be able to claim that number 2 spot in EMEA. But if it's your first time through over here on the channel, what up? I do almost daily esports news updates. We cover a little bit of, well, every region in VCT. So if you're looking for a cool place to keep up with, well, I guess everything VCT, feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. Now, before we go into our pick'ems and that Power 5 here for week number 6, let's go ahead and go over our previous week's results. It actually started off with a banger here between Team Liquid and Team Giants. We saw that the Giants were able to get things started on Ascend, able to win that thing 13-11, and really every game, every match going, if not the distance, just about the distance. But it was Team Liquid able to pull off the reverse sweep, able to win those last 2 matchups there, able to get things really kind of started off right, especially when you talk about for Team Liquid. They've been sitting at the top. They're really kind of looking to try and lock in that number 2 spot heading into this week. This was a big win for them against Team Giants there. And then when we look back as far as last week, I told you all that BBL Esports was going to be looking to come into this matchup against Team Heretics, looking to get themselves a dub. They were able to do just that. And I mean, things were pretty close throughout the early parts of this matchup. Haven going to overtime, Lotus just about going the distance. But once they got to Icebox, man, Team Heretics only winning 2 individual rounds. As it was BBL Esports able to pull off the dub, and Karmine Corp also able to pull off an upset off the back of what ended up being a little bit of a comeback on Haven in map number 3. At one point, Koi was just a couple of rounds away from being able to bring home the dub. They actually had the lead at one point as well late in that second half, but it was Karmine Corp able to give themselves a very, very big dub for them as far as where they are sitting in the standings. When we look at that matchup here is between Fnatic and FUT Esports. I mean, well, Fnatic just kind of doing what Fnatic does best, really able to seize that control. Icebox 5-13. We also saw 5-13 as well on Lotus. We're talking about a team like FUT Esports who are kind of up in that upper third of teams, right? Well, middle half, upper third, kind of up in there depending on what your take is, but definitely in that playoff contention. And to only be able to walk away with 10 rounds against a team like Fnatic really kind of shows the dominance that Fnatic continues to display within the region. And then things would be wrapping up with NAVI versus Team Vitality, and it's going to be Team Vitality unfortunately unable to win themselves a map. It's another sweep here as far as for the week, but another one where we have a sweep that's very, very close. I mean, both of these maps ended up going 23 rounds, but it was NAVI able to come out on top. And that's going to be another week for you, boy, with a winning record, 3-2, but I'm feeling pretty solid as far as my pick'ems for this week. But before we get to our pick'ems for week 6 here, YouTube, I'm kind of curious. How's your sleep, fam? Do you struggle with headaches after long nights at the grind? GamerAdvantage is a leader in impactful eyewear technology that's been proven to help you sleep better, focus more, all without distorting color or comfort, relieving headaches and eye strain, all while fitting comfortably under a headset. Stay in the game longer with GamerAdvantage. Y'all see me in my GamerAdvantage frames all the time, and that's because they truly do make a difference. And when you catch me with my red frames on, though, those are the ones that have my prescription lenses, because GamerAdvantage does that too. Link is always going to be down in that description below, and when you check out, don't forget that code YoBoyCue hooks you up with that 10% discount. But let's go ahead and get down to our pick'ems here for week number 6, and we're going to be getting started things off here on our first matchup, a pretty good matchup I'm expecting here, a banger, Team Vitality versus Fnatic. I do still anticipate Fnatic doing Fnatic things. I do anticipate Fnatic putting up at least a little bit of a fight, though, maybe a little bit more than we saw FUT Esports be able to put up this past week. But I do anticipate Fnatic being able to kind of wrap up the rest of the season undefeated. I think they're looking really good. So that means they also walk away with a dub this week here. But as far as for our next matchup here, when we talk about FUT Esports and Karmine Corp, FUT Esports enter into this week -1 in their round differential thus far in the season. I think they pushed themselves up into that positive. I think they're going to get themselves a rather big win, actually, against Karmine Corp. I know they're going to have a little bit of momentum off the back of this last week, but a loss here for Karmine Corp will just about end their season. Now, when we talk about for Koi and BBL Esports, again, two teams kind of like what we were just talking about for Karmine Corp. Both of them kind of on that verge where an L will be ending their season for them. Koi just has not really been able to put things together, even though they started their season off with a dub against NAVI of all teams. So I just feel like as far as with Koi, the story's been written. We just kind of have to see the rest of the things play out. Also, BBL Esports has been on a little bit of a run, so go ahead and give me them in a close one. Now, we mentioned earlier about how number 2 versus number 3 in the region do get to square off this Friday. I'm excited for it. Deserves some shine for a Friday matchup. NAVI versus Team Liquid. You know, I think it's a banger. I think Team Liquid shows us some promise, but I do think it's NAVI that's going to show us why they are the second best team within the region here, which only leaves us with Giants and Team Heretics for our last matchup of the week. I do think that the Giants really do need a dub here if they want to give themselves the best chance for playoffs. They probably need to go 2-1 in these last 3 weeks here in order to make it to playoffs. I'm going to go ahead and take them over Team Heretics. Wouldn't be surprised to see that one go to 3 maps though. But, you know, that does give us Fnatic, FUT Esports, BBL, NAVI, and Giants for those pick'ems for week number 6. But let me know who you guys are taking in those week 6 matchups, YouTube, down in those comments below. Also, if you've made it this far and you're enjoying the vibes, light up that like button for me if you could, down that bottom right hand corner as well. Those comments and those likes, those are the 2 things that help me out the most with that YouTube algorithm and get my content in front of more people, all right? And I do think this is going to be one of those weeks that has a good chance of being a perfect week for them pick'ems. I've got a feeling, but let's go ahead and get to everyone's favorite part of these weekly wrap-ups over here, and that's going to be the Power 5 ranking. And if it's your first time through over here, when I do these Power 5 rankings, I want you to know that I don't simply just go off of like their record as well as their round differential. It's kind of like the power rankings as far as for college football. If you're a college football fan, I'm going to kind of do a little bit as far as eye test, a little bit as far as what their strength of schedule has looked like as well. So let's go ahead and get things started off in that number 5 spot. It's going to be FUT Esports. Probably one of the weaker remaining schedules left in the league, which means they do get basically the ability to control their own destiny here, right? As far as the playoffs is concerned, anyways. They do have to step things up if they're going to want to be able to get to Tokyo. But I do think that they need to make sure they get things started off with a win this week. And I'm going to be looking for them to do just that. Now, and at that number 4 spot, that's going to be Giants. I told y'all after Super Week that they had a chance of bouncing back and really being able to make a name for themselves in EMEA. I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect them to be this high, but seeing them in that number 4 spot makes me feel pretty good about that call in the early weeks of the EMEA season. And, you know, I think as far as like FUT Esports being in the back half of the playoff seedings, they also need to make sure they go 2-1 in these last couple of weeks, really putting the pressure on them here in week number 6. Now, as far as our number 3 and our number 2 teams in the region, I've said it multiple times, they do face off against one another this week, and I expect it to be a banger matchup. I think there's a reason though that as far as like so far this season, Team Liquid does have an additional match loss. 3rd in the region though, still not a bad place for Team Liquid, and I don't think that they're very far behind Team NAVI, who is in that 2nd place as well. But I guess that matchup here this Friday will really let us know how things are shaping out in the EMEA region for VCT, which does leave us with our sole undefeated team in the region. That's going to be Fnatic. And, you know, I anticipate that Team Vitality looking to throw, I mean, everything, including the kitchen sink at Fnatic this week. But I think Fnatic will be able to remain undefeated. But what do you guys think, YouTube? I mean, let me know about your pick'ems and that Power 5 down in the comments below. Let me know where I'm right, where I'm wrong. Again, remember those comments really help me out. And if you're curious as far as my pick'ems for this upcoming week for VCT Americas, I'll have that video linked at the end here as well, all right? I should be able to get to VCT Pacific here later this week since I do cover a little of every region over here on the channel, like I mentioned before, news, updates, stuff like that. So make sure you're smacking that subscribe button and turning those notifications on as well. And that way we can catch y'all back here for that next one. But until we do, or we catch y'all over here for like a watch party or whatever, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard, all right, y'all? It's your boy Q, signing out.
won't stop me. You just don't wanna be, you wanna be me, but you will never be